Video coverage of IT Expo is brought to you by Content Boost, the content marketing specialists. Amplify your sales today.
Hi, Eric Linask here at IT Expo in Miami. I'm talking on the program today with Brian Sadowski from Apriva. Brian, thanks for joining me. Great to have you on the program.
Good. Thank you.
So talk to me a little bit about Apriva. You've been around since about 1999, providing mobile commerce technology. What's led to some of your success?
Well, we've been really successful in terms of leveraging sort of three main tenets of our business: security, mobility, and connectivity, both in the point of sale industry as well as in our government practice. And there's a strong sort of overlap in terms of those key principles, because we're able to leverage our secure assets in the point of sale industry that is, as we know, is becoming more and more a target for fraud. Mobility is the way in which payments are going naturally with the proliferation of smartphones and tablets and those sorts of things. So having that sort of is the foundation of the company. It's really been a huge contributor to our success.
So you started touching on security a little bit. Let's follow that
Sure.
Stream of thought a little bit. Obviously, there's been some very high-profile data breaches lately. Target, Neiman Marcus, just to name the latest couple. Is there a difference? Talk a little bit about the difference between, or the benefits of wireless security as opposed to wired networks.
Yeah, I would say actually the mobile element of payments starts to introduce, I think, a little more vulnerabilities and the threat vectors around now having these devices that have unlimited capabilities and connectivity options. Certainly because of the mass distribution of those and the adoption of those devices, it's becoming more of a target for fraudsters. So I think they have the opportunity to be highly secure, whether it be some sort of hardware security module, some sort of physical element in the device, or the software. That's where it's important for folks who are doing business with these devices to choose their partners wisely. So I think there's a potential for it to improve the security of payments. We're not there yet by any stretch.
What's Apriva doing to help in terms of the wireless
security? Our solutions, because of the secure nature of who we are, we've got technology that is reviewed and approved by the highest levels of government, both U.S. and foreign. That's sort of our key ingredient in terms of what we deliver down to the point of sale device, and then leveraging encryption and tokenization and other practices that are widely accepted and adopted. Those elements combined help us deliver solutions to our customers that they can extend to their consumers with a degree of confidence that it's a secure connection that they're processing over.
So you also work with financial institutions, merchant services, retailers on a white label basis with your product as well.
Correct.
How are you helping? How does that relationship with you and your product help them become more competitive in today's environment?
It's a great model for us. I mean, we're not as a widely known brand because of that model, but what it allows us to do is really to be the experts behind the banks and the sales channels that we distribute through. Two of the top 5 banks have white labeled our products, but allows them to leverage their brand and the trust that they've got with their clients, but still have a solution that we deliver that is highly secure, that is feature rich, that we take on the responsibility of keeping that at the forefront of payment options, security, all the connectivity options on our back end in terms of the processing networks that we connect to, so they can offload that burden, benefit from the time to market that we can offer, yet still have a solution that is trusted by their interaction with their merchants and consumers.
One of the big challenges, just generally across the board, when you look at emerging technologies, has always been the interoperability with other vendors and other technologies. You refer to your product, your solution, as being technology agnostic. What does that mean?
Yeah, we've been intentional in terms of keeping our platform as open as possible. In terms of the front end of the process, where point of sale developers, those folks who are building the solutions that are actually in the storefront with the merchant, whether it be a physical storefront or a mobile storefront, we want to be able to accept whatever that form of payment is transported to us in however that merchant or that developer chooses to engineer it. And then on the back end, in terms of routing those transactions, be it to a U.S. credit processor, a Canadian debit processor, a loyalty network. We're really a pure gateway in that regard, supporting technologies both on the front end and the back end that are really ubiquitous. We can support the next generation of payment forms that comes to us and has mass adoption, be it a digital currency, be it some other form factor. We're really intentional on being sort of that core glue that can enable these different technologies to communicate together.
Tell me a little bit about what you're doing in the M2M space, something that's obviously really exploding as a market right now.
It really is, and I think it's an untapped opportunity for a lot of our clients. We do quite a bit in the vending space. Our data shows that vending operators, if they start to embrace cashless payments as a form, they can see a spike in 20% very quickly in terms of their sales and revenue opportunities. So we've got specific vertical focus on vending to enable what are becoming more and more sophisticated interactions and devices to accept these forms of payment, whether it be credit, debit, loyalty, closed loop cards, all these things that are available in a traditional attended merchant location. There's no reason why that can't be enabled in a unattended kiosk sort of environment.
Lots of discussion really on both sides of the fence around NFC, particularly as a payment technology. What are your thoughts on its viability?
I think that's where we prefer to be agnostic, in the sense that I think the jury's out in terms of what's going to win out at the device level for the form factor of storing that credential set. We're intent on being completely supportive, whether or not NFC wins out, whether it's a software solution. It may be something we haven't yet come to realize yet. So we don't necessarily have an opinion on what's going to be the leader in that regard. We know that we've got the capabilities to accept that once it's delivered in terms of the form of the payment to any connected network that we've got access to.
What do you think is going to be the driving force in making that determination? Who wins that battle?
There's a lot of interest from big name players in terms of what are their motivations, be it the telco providers, be it the OEMs themselves. I think it's undetermined in terms of who's going to be able to influence the consumer, the merchant, all the different players in the chain to a standard. It's something that's been thrashed around now for a few years, and I don't think we've seen the end of that thrash.
And trust as well, I think, it plays a huge factor.
Certainly, absolutely.
Great. Brian, it's been great having you on the show. Thanks for joining us here in Miami.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Video coverage of ITEXPO is brought to you by Content Boost, the content marketing specialists. Amplify your sales today.